everybody, welcome back to Danganronpa. Where we last left off was we just found out that... we found out? Oh, right. That, well, for one, apparently, this entire killing game is being broadcast to the whole world. Which is a big... what? I don't think so, but then again, I'm probably wrong. Also, Byakuya claims that the body is Kyoko, but if you saw the last episode, that was a whole bunch of no. And plus there's already evidence that it's not Kyoko, so I'm glad. But right now we are going to search the locker room. Well, the dojo locker room. Let's see what he has to say first. Hurry up and check the locker. That's what we're here for after all. Pushy, pushy. It was number 6, right? There are wooden lockers here. They use wood block keys. I'm bending my words. Just like those super traditional public bathhouses. It looks like the key we found in Kyoko's room really does go in one of these lockers.
I see.
Mukuro, do you see the locker farthest to the right?
Very strange.
It's the only one that doesn't have a key in it at the moment. You understand what that means, right? I should probably use the key we found in the locker, right?
That's right.
Well, just try it. Okay. I took out the wood block key and inserted it in the locker's metal lock. And click. The locker eagerly accepted the key and it opened. There are arrows in here. They look like 10 arrows in total. They look like they're made of titanium, which means they're quite strong despite how thin they are. Of course, without a bow, they're nothing but strong little sticks. Didn't the Monokuma file say that they also had like little tiny injuries on the side? Strong sticks? Titanium arrows have matched the blah 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 blah. Oh, there's something else inside the locker. What is that? It's a walled up ball of duct tape. I wonder what this was used for. Is that a bloodstain?
I see.
If it is, that means it must surely be related to the case. This duct tape is related to the case somehow? But how could it possibly be involved? Bloody duct tape has led to the blah 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 blah. I think that's all the locker has to offer for now. Something wrong?
Very strange.
Very odd, don't you think? The locker was hiding items that were clearly related to the case. But how did the key to the locker wind up in the victim's room?
Why?
Perhaps Byakuya? Forget it. Come on, we need to continue on to the next location. Huh? What next location?
What?
There's still something we need to look into. We need to do more research on Fenrir. Fenrir? You mean the mercenary group that Mukuro was a part of? But how are we supposed to find out about that? Isn't it obvious? Where in the school do we go to do research on something? Research. Are you talking about the archive? That's right. The archive has all kinds of info that the general public doesn't have access to.
Let's go.
We only have so much time before the trial begins. Let's hurry. That's why I'm thinking, it's not... I'm having the terrible feeling that Kyoko's the killer of what I'm guessing. Honestly, I don't even know anymore. It kind of contradicts with the theory I talked about last time. But to whoever the victim is, I believe that Kyoko's the killer. But even so, at the trial, when we come to the conclusion, I'm not gonna say it's Kyoko. I'm not. I don't care if Byakuya, Toko, Mukuro, everyone else dies. Kyoko needs to live, okay? I believe there was a file to Fenrir somewhere over here. Byakuya seems to know the archive like the back of his hand and went straight to the shelf in the back. Here we go. Quickly returned with a file in hand. Okay, well, tell me what this file is. Take a look at this. I have no idea what it says. What language is this? Did you make it all the way to high school without learning a single word of French? I'm pretty sure most high schoolers can't speak French. Well, whatever. I'll read it to you. But I expect you to repay your debt 100 times over. 100 times? Isn't that kind of extreme? Fenrir is an elite fighting unit based out of the Middle East. Unlike military contractors, they are a fierce group of soldiers who engage in direct combat. So maybe the victim is Mukuro, because if you saw just before this mini picture here, you saw that it had like that symbol in the picture. So maybe the victim is Mukuro. But that also contradicts my theory. Then again, I don't know what Mukuro even looks like, so I can't even say for sure. They claim that a single member is equivalent to an entire company of regular soldiers. Just like Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok, their mere presence is enough to strike fear into any enemy. They have been involved in countless military battles and operations, most of which are highly classified. However, some time ago, they completely ceased all activity. At present, they continued existence. Oh, I cannot read today. Their continued existence cannot be confirmed. There are unconfirmed reports that the key members of the group were all neutralized. Rumors indicate that they were killed to keep them from revealing any state secrets they'd acquired. Some, however, believe there are mounting internal tension within the group, and they simply imploded. So they just disbanded?
What?
What is it? Well, it just sounds like some kind of alternate reality. No, it isn't. This is our reality. The only reality. These people are part of our world. Their battlefields aren't much different from our lives here. An unpredictable, unimaginable world. That's what makes it all so exciting. Exciting definitely isn't the word I would use. So did anything jump out at you? This may be your last opportunity to learn about Fenrir. Now that you mention it, report says something about where the name Fenrir comes from, right? That's right. It is said Fenrir is the Wolf of Ragnarok. That's what I'm saying, the little tattoo. It has the victim's body with the hand shows that it has that tattoo of a dog. Wolf confirmed. Speaking of which, would you like to know something interesting related to that? To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body. What? Got a tattoo of Fenrir? Could that mean Mukuro Ikusaba's profile has been updated in the blah 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 blah. Ding dong, bing bong. Interesting.
Time is utterly silent, and yet it constantly assaults us, organisms, the earth, natural phenomena. It damages us little by little until the end. You should really think about that.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, it's time to begin the class trial. So, please meet up in the usual spot. See you later.
Okay. And the time has come. All we can do now is try to uncover the truth during the class trial.
That's right.
Oh, it was Mukuro talking. It would seem that way. Let's go. Well, take what I said before and make it Makoto's voice. But let's get going. I wonder when if we get in, Kyoko's gonna be there. Kyoko's still not here? Where is she? Whoa, Byakuya and Makoto showed up together. Where the heck have you two been? You just disappeared without a word. We were investigating, of course. How could you not figure that out by this point? Makoto's ranked high enough for you guys to go off together. Just two of you?
Huh?
What? Are you jealous?
Hey.
Or are you making up some kind of creepy fantasy for yourself?
What?
Stop talking and brace yourselves. I'll be here any second. Any second. He could show up at any time. When I imagined about what was about to happen, I immediately tensed up and prepared myself. But we stood there for a full 5 minutes, waiting for something weird to happen. And then 5 minutes became 10.
Why?
What's going on here? Why hasn't Monokuma shown up yet?
Could it be?
Maybe he died again? What should we do? Should we keep waiting here, or... There he is. Or what? Jesus! Did I scare you?
Come on.
I demand an explanation. Why did you waste my time and make me wait like that? What? Made you wait? You got it all backwards. You're the ones making me wait. Huh?
In other words,
I'm waiting for everyone to arrive. We can't start till everyone's here, now can we? What are you talking about? Everyone is here. I've been waiting for you. Ooh, sorry, but you're wrong. Yeah, Kyoko isn't here. But I've been waiting 10 minutes now, so it's not okay if I punish someone making us all wait, right? If we all agree it's a violation, I'll arrange a punishment right now. Oh, please tell me it's Kyoko, right? I'll do her voice just in case. If it's me you're waiting for, I'm here. When I heard that voice, we all spun around to look.
hey,
Hey, I knew she wasn't dead. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm here. And no rules been broken. Kyoko! Kyoko! You're still alive! No, that's a ghost! Stop talking. If you want to fight, do it in the class trial. You need to save some fun for later, right?
What?
But is it okay that there's no particular penalty for being late?
is that right?
I made it here just fine. What school regulation did I violate? Am I wrong? You're so selfish, so spoiled. You're right. There's no penalty officially, but I bet you'll be sorry later. No, we'll make sure you're sorry later. Anyway, hustle your butts onto the elevator. I'll be just one step ahead of ya. When Monokuma was gone, we all rushed up to Kyoko. Kyoko! So you really didn't die?
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die. Thank God. I'm so glad you're okay. That's the one thing I agree with Aoi. That's the one and only thing I'm ever gonna agree with her on. I'm so happy and so relieved. Perhaps, but that's not necessarily a good thing for us. Huh? He's right. Now we gotta deal with a ghost. Told you. Stop talking.
Let's go.
Come on, let's just go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do it during the trial. Without Without ever looking directly at Kyoko, Byakuya stepped onto the elevator. Master, wait for me! Good call. Who knows what might happen to us if we take too long.
But
I'll be happy when this trial is all over. One after another, everyone piled into the elevator. But I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Kyoko, I'm so glad you're alive. Listen, before we get started, I have to ask you. Where have you been this whole time? You used that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you? So,
correct.
I went to investigate the second floor of the dorms. The second floor? There's the second floor of the dorms? I don't really remember anything on the second
That's
floor.
right.
There aren't many monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I also missed his announcement because of that.
Whew.
I had no idea a body had been discovered. Then when did you find out?
So,
Just now. I finished my search and came back down, just in time to hear the class trial announcement. I took some time to go over the crime scene first. I can't go to a trial completely uninformed, can I? That's why you were late.
however,
I'm sorry to keep you all waiting. But if you were on the second floor of the dorms, then what was that key you found goes to?
wrong.
Actually, to be precise, not quite.
In other words,
I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. So that's what the key is for. What? Kyoko's account went to the blah 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 blah.
Just a second.
Hey, what are you two doing? Hurry up before we get in trouble with Monokuma. Why do I
Mukuro.
kind of have a feeling this is the last trial? I don't know. I mean, like, she's bringing up something that's mastermind related. I kind of have a feeling this is the last trial, which probably means I'm gonna have to snip it into 2 parts. I have a feeling this is gonna be a long one. Right now, I just want to focus on surviving our current situation,
It would seem
because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me. For her? That's a strange way to put it. Class trial is important for everyone, right? So why would she say it's a crucial moment for her?
goodbye.
Well, if that's all. Seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way to the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right? I'm thinking it's important to her because she's the culprit. Being the last one left, I stepped into the elevator. Kyoko's beginning a little, suspicious. This time, the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears, and the dread began to consume me once again. I can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. In that dusky darkness, nobody said a word. We just stood there, silent and still. After an immeasurable period of time, the doors opened without warning. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes. But it wasn't the illuminating light of hope. It was the light of despair. It was the blinding light of despair. Yeah, lots of. Ooh,
I can't wait!
looks kind of pretty. It reminds me of like a disco theme. I've been waiting for this. I feel like it's been forever since we got together like this. It's been like what, 3 days? 4 days? The time for pointless jokes and jabs has passed.
Thrills,
Let's get on with the show! And so, the curtain opened for the 5th time. The deadly judgment, and yeah, he says the same thing. Okay, we're back. As memories float back, Kyoko is gone, and a mysterious masked body appears. Threads holding them all together begin to spin and twine into one. I have a feeling this one's gonna be a little tricky, so check out the truth bullets. Alright, Monokuma file number 5. Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. They were, however, dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife, which went completely through the body. They had also been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old. That's why I have a feeling, when it means like struck by a metal pipe, I think it's probably arrows. I don't know, maybe? The explosion had burned the upper half of the body beyond recognition. The upper half of the body remained on fire and had to be extinguished. Because of this, the upper half was soaking wet, while the bottom half remained dry. Okay. The body was wearing notably long fake nails. The body had a tattoo of a dog on the back of the right hand. There were bits of charred debris near the body. It should be noted that the bomb which had been removed from Monokuma in the gym had disappeared. It's hard to imagine these two events are unrelated. The sprinklers are programmed to come on every morning at 7:30. And this time is impossible to change. As such, it can be assumed that if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, it would have gotten wet. 7 a.m. Mukuro wakes up to the morning announcement. 7:30 a.m. Mukuro and Aoi arrived in the dining hall. 7:30 to 9 a.m. Mukuro meets the others in the gym, then together to head to the headmaster's room. 9 a.m. Toko is told to find the pickaxe in the garden, where she discovers the body. The knife found near the body was the same knife that was used to stab it before the explosion. It is also the same knife that Toko had given Mukuro for safekeeping, and the knife the mass assailant was holding when they attacked Mukuro. A tarp was hidden among the other items in the tool shed. One side was wet and filthy with mud and grime. The other side was completely clean and dry. The number of chickens in the chicken coop had decreased from 5 to 4. Yasuhiro claims that there were without a doubt 5 chickens just before nighttime last night. And yet... Byakuya stated that there was no corpse in the garden just after nighttime last night, so it can be assumed the murder must have taken place sometime after that. Byakuya also said that he, Yasuhiro, Toko, and Aoi were in the gym the entire night, and none of them were alone at any point. The corpse had a mask covering its head and a white jacket covering the body. A knife had been thrust into the abdomen, and there were blood stains around the wound. The body had stopped bleeding, but the blood was still wet. It was noted, however, that there was no blood on the ground around the body. Mukuro Ikusaba, female, known as the Ultimate Soldier. She became obsessed with the military from a young age. She disappeared while on a vacation in Europe and reappeared in Japan 3 years later. Apparently, every member of Fenrir gets a tattoo somewhere on their body to represent their membership of the group. Apparently, the killing game began with 16 participants, all students. It is assumed that Mukuro Ikusaba was the 16th student. Monokuma also revealed that the reason Kyoko wears gloves is to hide something she doesn't want anyone else to see. This woodblock decoration was found in Kyoko's room. It looks like it's actually the key to one of the lockers in the dojo. A set of titanium arrows was found in the dojo locker. They appear to be 10 total. Along with the arrows, there was also a wadded up ball of duct tape in the locker. The duct tape had traces of blood on it. It's assumed that this is related to the case, but nobody can imagine how. Kyoko used Monokuma's secret tool, which grants access to any room in the school, to sneak into the second floor of the dorms. This area seems to have no monitors or security cameras. Okay. So that seems to be everything. If I have some new skills. Cool. Steadies your aim a little. Effective during the non-stop debate in the Hangman's Gambit. Okay. How can I not, like, unlock any of these other ones? Was I supposed to, what do you call, like, buy them in the store or something? I don't know. Increases damage in the opponents when the statement is destroyed. Effective during bullet time battle. Cost 3 SP. Increases bullet captivity. Effective during bullet time battle. Cost 4. Okay. I've equipped everything there needs to be equipped, and let's begin. Alright, now again, I have a feeling this is going to be the final class trial, so this is most likely going to be split into two groups.
Your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, I'll punish everyone besides the Blackhead. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a ghost!
Oh my god, Hero. You're getting closer and closer to my hated list, like Owie-wise. Now, Owie's gonna be #1 in hated. It's more annoying than anything else.
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Right?
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
One important trait Kyoko has that proves the body doesn't belong to her. Kyoko's piercing... Kyoko's gloves.
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh! You know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion.
No, because they weren't there before the explosion.
I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
There's no way that corpse was Kyoko. But if I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here and that case won't move forward. The only reason we're gonna be stuck there is because Yasuhiro keeps making that claim. So I don't have any choice but to... The fake nails. And the tattoo. Fake nails, tattoo on right hand. Exploded body analysis. Okay, let's see.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Nope. Yep.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire
Is
discussion
it
is
fake
idiotic.
nails? I think it's fake nails, what Yasuhiro said. I know the body is... I know that body isn't Kyoko's, and I know I can prove it.
That Kyoko. Okay, then prove
The
it.
dead body was...
They got burnt up.
Then she was wearing gloves.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing...
Hey, sorry I was so quiet. I was thinking, like, is it that? Is it not? Yes, no?
No. There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain.
Yep. I've never
Besides,
worn fake nails,
Kyoko
so
wears gloves
I
to
don't
hide
really
her
know.
hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Yeah, aren't fake nails, like, meant to, like, highlight your hands?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well,
Yeah.
Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
I know.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
I think it's Mukuro.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Yes. Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. I think it has to do with the tattoo. Or the profile. It has to do with tattoo on the right hand.
If Kyoko really is still alive,
Oh my god, he's
Then
still
who
going on with that?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file.
Yeah.
Well, if we can't identify the body...
then there's nothing else we can do, right?
I think it's what Aoi says.
If Kyoko really is,
Then who does?
There's gotta be some... I don't think so. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify...
No, that's wrong.
I'm sorry I'm being so quiet, is that since I have a feeling that this is the final trial, I don't want to like keep screwing
There was one
up.
clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What?
I'll try and be
For
more
real?
active into it.
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
And Toko.
cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
What?
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The
Yeah.
key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog? Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Seriously? You really did something that humiliating?
I didn't think Toko would actually say something like that. I mean, I know she was saying like some like erotic stuff, but I didn't think she'd say like, "You're my bitch," something like that.
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within
Sorry.
that tattoo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If I compare the tattoo to the other information we have, the victim's identity should become clear. We have to use this. Nope.
I got it!
A.
The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
I was pronouncing it right.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is little doggy and thing. Huh? Oh, wolf. Give me an F. A.
Now I understand.
I said doggy and then I saw 4 letters and I'm like, what am I thinking?
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf race. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. And that means...
Exactly.
Yep.
The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf. Which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
Yep. That's what I think.
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
No, that's the thing. I think that the mastermind and Mukuro are 2 separate people.
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool last trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
God, I hate it when she does that.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place.
Who's the ultimate
After all,
military
looking at her
person?
profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the
Military
ultimate soldier.
soldier.
If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
Who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time, and when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying
This
she
is a
wasn't
mystery.
an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
I feel like half yes and half no. Because Monokuma was the one that claimed that Mukuro was the one making the rules, right?
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
I don't think so.
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Well, the only one without alibi is Kyoko and
Get a
me.
hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Yeah, based on what we know, there can only be two suspects. Makoto and Kyoko.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime
I feel like
last night,
Kyoko
I
is
went to
still
the
being
garden,
like super
so I can
salty after
confirm
being like roasted by Kyoko in the last trial.
that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Or Makoto and
Are me
Kyoko.
and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
So the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. Damn it, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock.
Because 10 o'clock is when the nighttime announcement.
So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
9 o'clock.
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
What time was the body discovered? At 9.
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock. It's probably 9 on the dot now. Okay, go get the pickaxe and we'll be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right?
That was around 8:30.
Oh yeah! Right
Oh,
around
7:30, sorry.
I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. And I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. till 7:30 a.m. Okay then, this looks like the game. It looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden. Okay. Pregnancy of the body, exploded body analysis, sprinklers. Must be sprinklers.
We've established a time frame for the murder.
I think
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Mukuro doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Wait, shoot, no, I didn't mean to do that.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Mukuro, if
This
you
is the
have
one
any
thing that I do
objections,
not
now
like
would be
about
the
this
time.
whole white noise thing. There's something that happens in the garden at the same time every morning. Thinking back, the corpse was almost totally dry. In which case, I should be able to figure out when the body must have appeared in the garden.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at
No, it's wrong.
How on earth did I not think of that?
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
Okay, I know I skipped a bunch of it, but this is what I was thinking. This is what I was thinking at the time. The reason I shot at 7:30 with the sprinklers bullet, because that's the time when the sprinklers go off. And during that time, the fragments near the body didn't make sense. The status of the body didn't make sense either, so I was 100% sure it had to be the sprinklers. And I was so sure that it had to be to what Aoi was saying. But I couldn't think clearly about what Byakuya was saying. I didn't actually know that his was going to be the real deal.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on! I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such such decent words!
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean?
Jeez, Toko, jeez.
Denying the sprinkler? Are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you
Well,
really
look who's
think
talking.
it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
I need to prove that it wasn't the sprinklers that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with a certain evidence, and that should do it. If we look at the body itself, we need to make it clear. I'm pretty sure it's the bullet time battle.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No! I don't know anything. Hold on. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No! I don't know anything. Hold on. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No! I don't know anything.
Final strike.
How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
This should prove
Bam! Sorry, Toko. That was pretty good. I only had one heart
Just
left.
remember what the body was like
I
after
lost
the
like
explosion,
most of
and
the
you'll
hearts
see why it
doing the
wasn't the
thing.
sprinklers.
Doing the other part.
The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
Ow.
I'm so sick of her.
Well, I'm more sick of you, Aoi. I still like Toko, so
Let's just move
no.
on.
Even though everything she says is like super weird, I still like Toko way better.
The reason only the top half was wet was because
When you do the water.
while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place
Somewhere between 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m.
sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
So Mukuro now has a full-on
But
alibi.
Mukuro's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Mukuro could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
Which easily moves down to Kyoko.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Kyoko's the only one without an alibi, which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone? That's...
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever, which is why I can't let that happen.
But there's already alibi. There's already evidence that you don't have an alibi. Kyoko, you're the only one. Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me?
But if Mukuro was working together with Monokuma, he has zero reason to kill her. And the position that the knife was being held, it was obvious that she was stabbed, right?
Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Is Byakuya your master now too?
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
No.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Really?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
It has to do with the tarp, doesn't
Because
it?
you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
The tarp.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
Okay, I'm back. I do know what the answer was. It was the misclick of, since I have to do this on the laptop, the little mouse pad thing is really smooth and slippery. But I do know the answer. It was this.
You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that.
But the sprinkler doesn't spread dirt.
Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water.
That's what I assumed back when I found it.
The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
To
Most
avoid.
likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. It was used the way Kyoko said. Tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body...
Wait. Something's not
Wait,
right.
if it was covered after the body, then... the tarp, the dry part of the tarp is completely clean. That's not possible. Because if it's true that it covered the body at around the time of the murder, then it would be stained with blood.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. Body before the explosion, before the body analysis.
By
I think
covering
it's
the body
before.
with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
Wait, no.
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless.
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
No, that's wrong.
You guys have no idea how much I'm struggling.
Actually, one side
I don't
being
even
clean
know
is
why.
pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Yakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Yep.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
But if they'd washed it, that means they would have washed the entire
If they
thing.
had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
What? Huh? The blood was camouflage?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
Blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I
The
know!
nurse's
They could have
office?
grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he
Yeah.
pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time.
And
The
what?
killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
The chicken! From the chickens. That makes sense on why there's only 4
Could it have been
chickens.
Chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens.
Yeah. And after that,
But
there
after
were
the
4.
murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
I agree.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I say they would have buried it. I mean, killing it just for its blood? I don't think it deserves to be eaten. Poor thing.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense.
Like what?
You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right?
What about the
But
knife?
if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I
True.
have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered
Really?
it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so.
Yeah.
Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Oh.
Then that settles it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up.
It
What
settles
what?
that.
Here's what happened.
Okay.
The murder took place before the sprinklers went off, but the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred.
Yep, that makes sense.
They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
Which makes Makoto's alibi theory go out the window.
To pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe. But still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
No. Aoi ran off before,
no.
didn't she?
I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Yeah.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
Kyoko, what are you doing?
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
Aunt Kyoko, what are you doing? And the suspicions falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. This guy's dead body. Oh, clues during the case? That's new.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
Okay.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
No.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just
Like,
stand
super
there.
serious.
Out with it.
I don't know why I did that.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
One we
She's
found
going
stuck
to
in the
use
body
the
before it
knife to frame
exploded, right?
Makoto.
According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back.
Oh.
So, what about it?
She's gonna claim that the murder weapon that we found was the one that Toko gave Makoto.
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before.
Ooh, Awie's
That's
just
what I
making
thought when I
things
first
worse
saw it.
for him.
I just remembered.
Listen, more important, now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what should we do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Huh? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Mukuro?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
Yeah. Couldn't be sure what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it.
But we found
1000% convinced.
But we found Kyoko right after that thing. Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. I can prove that. Why is there bloody fragments near the dead body? Let's see what it has to
The
say.
knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Mukuro.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
Stab,
What a
stab.
horrible man you are, Mukuro.
What? We've already established that the coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed, which means when the knife was thrust through the coat into the body,
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
fragments near the dead
It's the
body.
same one we
This
gave to
guy's dead
Mukuro.
body.
It really is, isn't it?
Let me see what this guy's dead body is. Murder took place later when they removed the tarp. The suspect placed the white jacket on the body. This jacket appears being treated with blood to make it look like the corpse had been wearing it. What does that have to do with anything? I kind of have a feeling that the disguised dead body is the thing. But let's see what more we have.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Mukuro did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically...
Well, getting stabbed is what, so there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Mukuro.
It has to do with what Yasuhiro says.
It's the same one we... It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before,
And that seals it. Just because I had that automatic...
well, getting stabbed is what killed...
There we go.
No, that's wrong. Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember?
That's the thing. That's something I was thinking off camera. Was the survival knife wasn't... Even if you look at it as a picture, it doesn't look that big. The Monokuma files state that that it went from in all the way out. And the survival knife isn't really that big. So if the survival knife is the murder weapon, then it shouldn't say that it went all the way through.
The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right?
Yeah.
In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Yeah.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body was written down for everyone to see. The Monokuma file.
I got it!
Yeah.
The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. Totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
It can't be the murder weapon because it's too
It
small.
was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward.
Okay.
They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh,
Okay.
hey, I have a question. It kinda goes back to the beginning, but... What's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If
Did the
you
bomb.
bother to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic-level spontaneous combustion!
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb
Yeah.
enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Yeah, they're making this class trial go on for too long. It's the fragments near the body.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
The fragment of the bomb.
That's only natural. Because, of course, We saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Mukuro.
And that we cover up the original
The only one who would benefit from
cause of
that
death.
is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true.
I have a feeling it's those
definitely
metal
bugging me.
arrows that we found.
What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate.
I think something with the arrows. Because the Monokuma file also said that there was something, that she was struck by something like a metal pipe. And Byakuya did mention that the arrows were metal, right? But I'm going to have to end it here today because if I keep going, the video is going to run on too long. So since it's a class trial, I'm going to make sure that I keep recording right the day after, because I don't want 2-3 days to pass by and when I come back it's going to be all like I've forgotten everything. For now, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all